Welcome back to Behind the Mic. In this episode, Jim interviews longtime member and former board director Mark Saldana of Saldana Concrete. Mark shares his journey into the concrete industry, the value of joining the CFA, and the technological advancements that have shaped his business. Keep listening to join Mark and Jim as they celebrate CFA's 50th anniversary and discuss milestones in both the association and Saldana Concrete.
Hey, welcome back to Behind the Mic, the podcast for the Concrete Foundations Association. I'm James Beatty, Executive Director for the CFA. We're live here at CFA Con 25, Deadwood, South Dakota. And we're celebrating 50th anniversary, as you've heard, or maybe if you've been listening to some of these podcasts. I'm so pleased right now to introduce to you one of the former boards of directors for the CFA, longtime member of the CFA, one of my favorite individuals and favorite families, Mark Saldana, Saldana Concrete. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Jim.
It is so nice to see you here. And what a great moment for us to be celebrating 50 years of CFA.
Awesome.
You've been around for a lot of that. Yeah. Tell me, let's just get started a little bit. Tell me about what got you into the concrete industry.
We did a lot of home building and did some concrete work and block work, and my ready-mix supplier talked me into looking at doing poured walls.
Yeah.
And we ended up doing it. I was sold soon, first baseman I seen. And they're the ones that actually told me I need to join the CFA.
Wow. So that was would have been Semstone, maybe?
No, it was Granite City Ready Mix.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But anyway, he wanted me to join so we could get literature to do a home show, so we could hand out, CFA literature on poured foundations.
Right.
So we ended up doing a home show before we even had any forms and knew what we were doing.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, we were at a home show, but I mean, little did I know that it was going to be the greatest thing I ever did to join the CFA. It was just such a blessing to belong to this organization for this long.
I'm so thankful to hear you say that. And just for you listeners, I didn't pay him to say that. We didn't set that up ahead of time. It is really, I can tell it's heartfelt. What was the moment that made you realize how great a decision that was to invest in your company by investing in the association?
Just all the people I met in the CFA, and Ed Sauter and you. It's just been awesome. And every year we go to convention and we bring the family with. It's been awesome.
We go to some pretty cool places, which you think about the legacy of the association, and it seems like there's always been such great places we've gone to. And we're kind of in this interesting space where younger generations may not feel the value of a business vacation. But what surprises me year after year that I talk to guys like you is that it's the business investment side more than the vacation side, but it's nice to get them both.
Yeah.
You've known family. You've brought your kids to this. Grandkids now.
Yeah, now grandkids. So
yeah, how much benefit has it been, the family affair and the association network around the family?
Oh, it's been awesome. I know other members have come up to me and said, how awesome that is that you bring your family to this and your grandkids. And, and I think some of them kind of wish they would have done the same thing.
So you're kind of helping to roll that forward. So members that are still seeing that in you and some of the others that are here, now the light goes on. Oh, if I bring my kids, they get to know more kids, and it becomes the next layer of the association. You're a legacy committee member now. You just received the nomination to join what is the legacy committee, which is really the representation of those who have contributed the most to the association over the years. So congratulations.
Thank you for honoring me. That's
well deserved. Awesome. I mean, well deserved. Years that you served on the board, you always had just very thought-provoking and thoughtful contributions to the direction of the board. So you mentioned Ed Sauter, my longtime executive director of the association, my predecessor, my partner. In many ways, I honored him as he passed away in March. I honored him as a father figure for me as well. When you think of your time in the association, what are some of the names that have influenced you the most from the peers that you've met and worked with?
Well, like Terry Levy this year,
Oh,
was
great.
here this year. He was the one who came up to me. I don't remember where it was. I think it was maybe in Colorado, a summer meeting, and asked me if I wanted to be on the board. And I'm like, wow. I would thought, what an honor to somebody would think I could be on the board of directors.
Yeah.
It's just been awesome. And well, everybody, Bruce
Yeah.
Neal,
Bruce
and
Neal, another
and
great.
Kirby, and Ari, and just there's just countless people that.
And you're not alone. I know many guys like you who have received that invitation, or even really when you think back to that Ready Mix producer that said, "Hey, I think you should join the association." Now it's really curious to me to hear that story. That the reason why he wanted you to join is so you had access to literature, so you could go and do home shows. That's hilarious because I remember that literature. I mean, up until 6 years ago, I still had some of that literature. Now I've gotten rid of all. I have digital files of it, but
Yeah.
there's always that sense: do I really belong? That kind of imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to realize, no, this is like the best place for you? And I do belong. I have the same thoughts that these guys have. How long did it take you?
Oh, I don't know. It was probably, right after the first year we went to
Wow.
convention, the first summer convention we went to, that changed everything.
Because realistically, everybody here is you,
Yeah.
and you are, in a way, a slice of everybody that's here. And that's what I've always appreciated about getting to know the contractors through the association, watching you network. So just around here, you talking with Greg Atkins and Russ Talpe and Ken Krzyzewski and all the ones that are setting the pace for the next 20 years, the next 30 years of the association.
Yeah.
You resonate with each other. You resemble each other. You share so freely. Was it ever surprising for you how easy it was to share your pains, your successes?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I belong to other associations, and they don't share hardly anything.
Yeah, right.
Nothing like the CFA does.
Yeah.
It's such a blessing to hear how other people do things and to learn from other people.
What was, if you had to say, what was the most surprising or most influential thing you learned from this network that you joined and started participating in?
Probably one of the biggest things was total station layout.
Oh, yeah.
Learning that. We had a total station back in 2000, I think, already. So
Yeah.
that was just up and coming technology that I know some of my competitors are just buying a total station now.
Just now.
Yeah.
It's
It was
crazy to think.
25 years after I bought mine.
Yeah.
So it's like we were so far ahead of them. But they don't go to association thing like this, so there's no way for them to learn all this stuff.
Do you remember who introduced you to the total station that made that so impactful to jump on board and to expend that money?
I don't remember at the time who it was.
Yeah. So the
But-
story that I recall, I joined in 2001, and so I even think the Colorado meeting where you joined the board was the first meeting that my daughter attended. She was
Okay. Yep.
she
No,
was
I
1
remember.
year old, right? You remember
She
that?
was really small.
In fact, your daughter was carrying her around most
Yep.
of the time, which is so great to see. Your grandkids that Michaela has brought forward.
Yeah.
But the story, I think it was 1997, Barry Herbert was the one that introduced the association to the total station. And pretty
Okay.
soon,
That
this
was-
guy had it, and this guy had it, that guy had it, and now you've got it. And so I'm curious, so that Ready Mix producer introduced you. Now you're a CFA member. I've been to your place. It's a great location. You feel like you're going out into the middle of nowhere, and then all of a sudden, boom, here you are.
Yep.
In fact, I almost missed it flying through it at one point.
Remember that.
Yeah. Have you become a resource? Do you still find yourself as a resource to others in the area? They haven't made that commitment, but you're still just bringing knowledge and consistency and quality.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And Port Walls is just starting to take off in our area. We were the only ones for years. But
You're like that, if I remember correctly, Minnesota's that last state that was still doing wooden foundations.
yeah, wood, block, and
It blows my mind that wood foundations, because I remember coming up and doing some, they were builder shows or like local HBAs in Rochester and the Twin Cities, and and they specifically wanted me to address the comparison of poured wall foundations to wood foundations, poured wall foundations to block foundations, which is staggering. When you consider where we're at now, and you very successful business, you've gone through a lot of evolutions, a lot of technology that you've introduced to your company and to your clients, your customer base. Things like 3D printed foundations. What do you see as the technology that's going to take this industry forward? What's next?
Boy, that's a hard question.
It's a $25,000 question, right?
Yeah.
Where are we going to put our bet?
Yeah.
It's a lot. There's a lot of things. What's the most recent technology that you guys have introduced?
Well, we bought aluminum footing forms, which was huge.
Excellent.
Getting away from wood, and it's just been.
How long have you had those?
I think we've had them 12 years,
Yeah.
but
Massive transformation in quality and efficiency and performance.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, and my guess is you were introduced to that either here, probably at one of our conventions.
Yeah.
Maybe even a member had suggested that to Kirby. Has been a long time user.
Well, we've seen them year after year, and I think, I should do that. But it took me quite a while to pull the trigger on it. But once we did, then we bought another set. And
Yeah.
it's just,
So let me ask you that, because I can feel that in your voice, and you would, that position, that mindset is something that every contractor faces at one point or another. Gosh, I see that opportunity, I see that investment. It's a big investment. I don't know that I can do that. How many times have you rewarded yourself for taking the bold step forward and investing in a technology that you didn't think you could afford at the time?
Oh, I remember the first broom truck I bought. It was like $160,000, I think it was. But
Yeah.
I thought, how am I ever going to pay for this? But it don't take you long to see how that'll pay for itself in no time. Just the labor savings alone,
And safety.
Yeah. It's and that's why a lot of guys don't make it. And there was a lot of people in our area that tried poured walls and just couldn't do it. They end up selling the forms and got out of it.
Right. Right.
So
one of the things that's happening in our industry, we're seeing a lot of, is the transition of ownership. Guys like you and me, we're seeing retirements. We've been hard at it. You've had it. You've worked hard for a lot of years.
Yeah.
What are you setting up? What are you looking at for the future of your company, and how are you addressing that? What are you leaning into right now?
Well, we looked into selling, and we looked into a lot of things, but I don't know. We have some people interested that might be interested. So
Yeah.
but
There's a lot of options. There's a lot of different ways that it's happened in the association. Have you had any conversations with other members of the association?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I noticed you just transitioned this business to such and such. How'd you do that? Yeah, the conversations have been beneficial, I'm assuming, in how you've projected forward what you might do.
yeah, I talked to a lot of guys here that are in the same position we are. So it's really helpful to hear what they're doing and
Good.
how they're going to handle it. So
When you think of how big of a radius do you have for your company?
well, we've even gone out of state, but
Have you really? Okay.
Yeah, but we're pretty local.
Yeah.
We're probably with 50 miles radius.
How important is community to you and to your business, and to have what you've set up in your market?
Oh, community, it's everything, just
Engagement of the employees, engagement of your customers,
yeah.
being known as the reputation that you move forward,
Yeah.
the culture that you assimilate to produce becomes the community.
Well, I just had a new pump operator, and
Okay.
he wanted to put one of our pumps in a parade down by his house, and I said, hey, if you want to do it, go ahead, do it.
Oh, that's great.
And he ended up taking his grandma with him in the truck, and she was throwing candy out, and she had never ridden in a big truck before, so it was really a fun experience for him. And
Yeah,
it was only a week later we got a call, and someone said, I seen your truck in the parade. So
that's
they called.
awesome.
Yeah, so it's just, it's and now he wants to do more parades.
Yeah,
And I said, sure, if you want to do them, we're happy to
That's awesome.
have you do it.
Yeah, so awareness, and I'm one of those guys. So I do that all the time. I'm driving down a highway, driving through town. I see concrete on the side of somebody's vehicle, and I immediately look to that. Probably grab my phone, take a shot with my phone that I shouldn't, just so I can remember that name. But that influences people because that brand is there. It recognizes to people, hey, that's a company that I should probably get to know.
Yeah.
There are a lot of young owners coming up. We're seeing that transition of ownership. We're seeing companies evolve. Key foreman might leave, go start their own business. You're now a legacy committee member. You've been around a long time in this association, invested in your company through the association. What do you tell the new owner or the emerging leader that's listening to this podcast about the value of investing in their business by finding the right network to join?
I think it means everything, to come to the CFA and get to know all these guys. It's a wealth of information you could learn, and or even they know a lot of things that you might not think you're that good at something, but you might influence other people to.
And I have seen that over and over again. I've seen that actually literally from you. I've seen that sense of, oh, I'm not very good at that, or that I don't do anything that flamboyant or that important until you have the conversation with somebody else, and they're like, tell me more, Mark. No, that's really intriguing. How did you come up on that? I'm glad to hear you say that, because to me that's the value. The value is, and the phrase that might be a little cliche, but you don't know what you don't know, and the only way to know what you don't know is to hear it from others and let others help validate you. So I appreciate you, Mark. Thanks for some time on the podcast. I hope it helps the listeners.
Thank you for asking me to join this.
Yeah, it's my hope in Behind the Mic is really to tell stories of real guys like you, real owners, the real struggle of the industry, and to help see the light that comes from the collegial relationship, the network that people have access to. So thank you for being a longtime member of the association. Great things to come from the association, great things to come from your company, and I wish you the best of luck.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. So that's it for this podcast. We're here last day. We're kind of wrapping things up for CFA Con 25, Deadwood, South Dakota, and the 50th anniversary of the association. Check out more of our podcasts on our YouTube channel. There's some great content there, past, present, and we're going to keep doing this in the future, so look forward to it. Subscribe and drop us a line if it's meaningful, or if you've got a story to tell. I'd love to be in touch with you. Have a great afternoon.
Behind the Mic is brought to you by the Concrete Foundations Association. You can learn more about us and about becoming one of our #CFA Concrete Pros by visiting our website, cfaconcretepros.org. If you're a concrete professional interested in being part of a future podcast, reach out to us by email to info@cfaconcretepros.org to start a conversation. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Behind the Mic.